Hi everyone, this is Théo Mahy-Ma-Somga and welcome back for another episode of the Sunday Storyteller Club. Today I want to talk about responsibilities. If there was one skill I will bet everything on, one human trait that determines whether you will be seen, heard and remembered, it's this one, taking responsibility. Not the kind that sounds good in corporate mission statements, the kind that burns a little when you say it out loud. The kind that leaves no one else to blame. If I could scream this message, I would, but I will save your ears and your defensiveness. Still, this one matters because responsibility is the quiet superpower that separates those who lead from those who complain. Those who create meaning from those who wait for permission. We live in a constant state of worry, fear of being judged, fear of failing, fear of succeeding. We are told to stay safe, not to burn our wings too soon, not to expose ourselves too much. So we hide behind crafted versions of ourselves, stories that sound strong but feels hollow. And in doing so, we disconnect from the one thing that actually builds trust, owning our truth, even when it's messy. Responsibility is the ultimate form of storytelling. Every word, every promise, every apology tells the story about who you are. People don't judge you by what you intend. They judge you by what you take ownership of. Think about it. Someone says, sorry I'm late, traffic. Or, I couldn't deliver on time, the supplier didn't send the piece. You nod, you smile, yeah sure. But deep down you think, no, you could have left earlier actually. And you could have checked the list before making the promise. What you feel in that moment isn't anger. It's a small fracture of trust. Because what they are really saying is, my comfort matters more than my commitment. We all do it. We blame circumstances, clients, weather, timing, anything to protect the image of competence. But here's the paradox. The more we protect our image, the weaker it gets. True authority doesn't come from being flawless. It comes from being accountable. I will repeat that. It comes from being accountable. When someone says, I'm sorry, I should have left earlier, or I overpromised and that's on me, you feel something shift. Respect. Safety. Because ownership builds trust faster than perfection ever will. Responsibility is contagious. It raises the frequency in every room it enters. It tells people, you can count on me. Not because I will never fail, but because I will never hide when I do. And here's the psychology behind it. When we take responsibility, our brain activates the same regions tied to agency and reward. The prefrontal cortex, the area linked to control and integrity. That sense of agency releases dopamine. Not the shallow kind from notification, but the deep one that says, I matter, I make things happen. It's why owning your mistakes feels uncomfortable at first, but liberating right after. It turns shame into power. Responsibility is also connection. You can't build trust, love, loyalty, or leadership without it. Every negotiation, every relationship, every sale, it's all an exchange of belief. You are basically saying, trust me. But if the image you send back isn't aligned with your words, the other person's subconscious will feel the mismatch. They won't believe what you say. They will believe what you show. That's why storytelling starts long before you speak. It starts in your little words. I will call you back. I will be there. You can count on me. Every micro promise builds or erodes your narrative equity. Over time, it compounds into a reputation, a personal brand, a legacy. So ask yourself, when you show up, do you show up entirely? Or do you hide behind excuses that keep you safe but small? Because every time you say that's on me, you grow. And every time you say it wasn't my fault, you shrink, even if no one else sees it. Responsibility isn't a burden, it's self-respect in motion. The day you stop running from it is the day people start running towards you. So before you close this episode, take a second to reflect. What promise did you make recently that you quietly broke? What conversation are you avoiding because you might have to say, you know what, I was wrong. That's your homework. Go fix it. Not because it will make you look good, but because it will make you real. This was the Sunday Storyteller Club. I'm Théo Mahy-Ma-Somga. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to be seen, heard, and remember, take responsibility. It's the loudest signal in the world full of excuses. See you next time. Bye.